Okay, two things caught my attention today. The first one I didn't know anything about. And I promise you, I did not plan wearing this shirt covering this story. So let's get right into this. Paramount kills Last Ronin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie as Sonic producer takes over the reboot. Now, I don't remember who produced the Sonic movie, so I'm sure we'll get into that in this article. And I wonder if they'll get into why they killed this Last Ronin title. I didn't read all the Last Ronin books. I've read some of the adjacent books, so I'm not really familiar with the entire story, I will admit. I've seen people talk about it, and people who love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books appear to really love this Last Ronin story. So I wonder what was the impetus behind them killing this. Was it just a director's change? Kind of crazy. Paramount is making major moves with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. A new report from THR says the studio is bringing in Sonic the Hedgehog producer Neal H. Moritz to oversee a new live-action CG hybrid Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, a shift that immediately impacts the entire franchise slate. I don't know if maybe they're going on the success of Sonic. The success of Sonic doesn't necessarily mean he will be successful with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. And I wonder if that is their thought process, if that's their idea. Maybe it is, but if that's the only reason they're going in this direction, it may not work out for them. But let's see what they have to say. According to THR, Boris Kit, Paramount is looking to Sonicify the brand with Moritz signaling a more mainstream four-quadrant direction. I don't know how I feel about that. Sonicifying the Turtles franchise. I wonder if they feel like the other Turtles movies, the more recent ones, went in too much of a darker direction. It was still, there was comedy in those movies. It was still Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it felt like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But Sonicify Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not sure. Not sure what I think about that. It also explains why the long-developed The Last Ronin movie has been sidelined. Moritz already helped turn Sonic into one of Paramount's strongest franchises. The insider quote for THR says it all. If you want Sonic, you go to the guy who did Sonic. Yeah, but does that mean you want him for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, though? Let's see exactly what he said. This is his post right here. Paramount is going to attempt to Sonicify its Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise with Moritz. That means that Last Ronin, the R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is off the table. And earlier this year, had nobody, director Ilya Naishuller in talks to helm, but a deal never closed. I don't know who this Ilya Naishuller, I think that's how you say her name. I don't know who that is. I don't know what this person has done outside. Well, maybe that's the point. This was somebody that was unknown. Sometimes I think it's good to go with unknown producers, unknown actors as well. I think if you have a big franchise, I think you have a higher probability of success when you go with unknown producers and unknown actors. And I've said this before, it's because they don't come in with baggage. So that might have been a win for them. This shakeup means the R-rated Last Ronin live action CG project is no longer moving forward. That film had nobody director Ilya Naishuller in talks to helm earlier this year, but the deal never closed. Of course, they're repeating what was said. What is this? What is this nobody? I'm going to have to look that up because I thought initially, it's hilarious. I thought they were saying that this person was like a nobody, but it's a movie. Nobody. What is this movie? Never heard of it. Maybe it's a really good movie and I just don't know anything about it. Sources for THR, the new Skydance-controlled Paramount leadership, headed by David Ellison, didn't want the Turtles' first non-animated movie in a decade to be a violent adult story. The Last Ronin is now put back in the pizza box with no signs it will be revived anytime soon. And I honestly gotta say, I think if they would have released a Last Ronin R-rated Turtles movie, I think it would have actually done well. When you look at the success of Deadpool, and I think initially Marvel was going to try to Disney-fy Deadpool, and Ryan Reynolds was having none of that. And we see the success of that movie. So I don't know if I agree. I think if they would have released this, I think it would have actually done really well. Their Paramount report also, the report also says Paramount is moving forward with the animated sequel to the Seth Rogen and even Goldberg's Mutant Mayhem for September 7, 2027, with Jeff Rowe returning to direct. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know what to think about that. That's kind of odd to me. I don't know. I'm sure they got some internal numbers. They must have looked at something to say, yeah, we're not going forward with this movie. Here's the next story I want to cover because I can't wait for this book to come out. I read this book from Bad Idea Comics, Planet Death. I read 1 and 2, and it shocked me how involved or how interested I was as I, delved deeper reading the book, getting into the story. And it reminded me, for me, it felt like a mix between Halo and Gears of War. And so they have revealed, this is the first look, incredible art, by the way. This book had incredible art. As the lone survivor of his battalion, Corporal Scott is determined to complete his mission to destroy the devastating weapon garrison on this hostile enemy world at all costs. Behold your first up-close look at Scott's deadly target and the legions of alien soldiers that stand in his way with a brand new batch of stunning pencils from Planet Death number 3, blockbuster screenwriter Derek Kolstad, creator of John Wick, co-writer and New York Times bestseller Robert Venditti, Superman 78, and artistic visionary Tomás Giorello, Conan, push Corporal Scott to his absolute limit in the next must-read chapter of the record-breaking blockbuster epic. Gear up for the upcoming assault with Planet Death Original Art Edition and experience every single piece of Tom Giorello's jaw-dropping Planet Death original art, including pencils, inks, character designs, and more. So do they say when this book is coming out? Yeah, this art, this pencil work is stellar. It is stellar. I am definitely amped to read this right here. Yeah, they don't say when it's coming out. Interesting. That's definitely something that I am excited and looking forward to seeing. But the Turtle story, I'm slightly confused. But I'll give Paramount some time to cook. I know there's a lot of things going on, with Paramount. A lot of these studios, there's so much shakeup when it comes to entertainment, things being moved around, people buying, studios, DC, Warner Brothers, Discovery being sold. There is a lot going on. So I imagine the landscape and the direction of a lot of movies is probably going to change from what they were planning on doing, especially with all these sales going on. So we'll see. But I think they kind of missed the mark on abandoning that Last Ronin movie. I think they should have done it.